Hello and welcome everybody. We have the Global Lab patch notes for October 24th. Let's get right into it. First off, we have some class modifications. On Valkyrie, there was an issue with the HP not being applied when attraction effect of the light wave skill was activated. Then apparently there was also an issue with evasive movement would be triggered first when attempting to use shield pursuit in a specific direction while in defensive stance with a longsword. Then on Wizard, Bone, I'm not quite sure what that is, but they fixed an issue with a knockback effect applied only to players, was not applied when the first hit of Cold Wave skill was successful. And on the same skill, the issue with a critical hit chance increase effect of that skill was applied to targets other than the caster has been fixed. Wizard, the effect of pushing the target back when the Cold Wave skill hits successfully only applies to monsters, has been changed to the effect of knocking back when the first hit is successful and only applies to monsters still. On Lan, when using Chain Wheel after a null skill... Actually, sorry. After using a non-return skill, the phenomenon where the movement link speed was different depending on the direction of the null skill has been fixed. On Guardian, they fixed an issue where the Jin Claw skill, or Claw Pullout skill, could be continuously activated after using certain skills. On Scholar, the phenomenon of switching to a non-combat state during some cheering actions, such as obtaining items while using a two-handed hammer, has been improved. And on Wukong, they fixed an issue where some skills were still used, even when locked through the Black Spirit Rage lock in the setting UI, which includes Burn on All and Riot 3. Then we go into the My Own Attendant, or My Own Maid, My Attendant. So they've added the new companion who will join adventurers on their journey. With this, you'll be able to fully customize their appearance and outfits, including both wearing and dyeing them, to showcase your own unique style. Beyond just looks, it will offer also a few features. They'll follow you around town and can even participate in social actions with you, adding for more ways to interact and enjoy the game. Definitely a small thing, but we'll look into it. So first off, the My Maid tab has been added to the Maid Butler list. You can create and manage your own maid through this menu. To register your own maid, you must have at least one, and the first registered maid will be set as the representative. So first off, you have the appearance change, the dyeing, and then the social actions. Here you have the equipment that you can give the maid. When you set the apply my maid, all maids will appear as your own maid, so pretty much this will be the template for all of them. You can also summon your own maid by right-clicking in the Maid Butler List item icon within the game screen, which is a new feature. And you can use various functions related to your own maid within this tab. So here we go, number 1. You can change the customization of your own maid. This is only possible when your own maid is summoned, and the effect of the appearance change tickets such as value pack items must be in effect. And if the summon is cancelled, while changing the appearance, the change information will not be applied. So you gotta make sure that the maid is out. For the second point, you can dye your own maid's outfit. This is only possible when your own maid is summoned. Dyeing is also only possible if your maid has the equipment equipped. And finally, the dye you own or merged palette effect must be applied. And once the summon is lifted, the dyed information will not be applied. So again, you must, finish the process before finishing. The third option, you can specify social actions for your own maid. And then a Maid tab has also been added to the Social Actions UI to allow you to specify social actions for your maids. Social actions selected from the Together tab will be performed by Adventurer and your own maid together. Number 4, which is at the bottom here, is you can set your own maid to follow adventurers around town. If the distance between your maid and the adventurer becomes too far, it will teleport, and it will automatically desummon when you leave the village. On the 5th point, which is right below that, we have when you activate this feature, all maids will be summoned as your own maid, set as your representative. However, even if you summon a warehouse or exchange central market maid, after applying your own maid, the summoning will be cancelled after a while. Warehouse or central market maids, summoned and placed on standby when using the warehouse exchange, and then unsummoned when finished. And with the storage maid, they're summoned when using the warehouse or storage, and then desummoned after a while. This is the only part I'm feeling a little bit annoyed by. The My Maid costume conversion ticket item is being added, which allows you to wear costumes on your own maid has been added. You can purchase your own maid costume transformation ticket from the new, old moon managers in each town for 1 million silver each. This I feel is a little bit over the top, but hey, most of the time we have a outfit lying around, so it's not too bad. You can convert the costume you currently own into your own maid costume by right-clicking and using the My Maid Costume conversion ticket. Costumes that have been changed into the maid costume and the conversion ticket cannot be equipped by the character anymore and cannot be reverted back to a costume that can be equipped by a character. However, costumes that can be converted back into box form, such as New Vericat or Zekia, can be converted back into box form in the same way, and upon opening you will obtain a costume that can be used by a character. So for Orzekia and New Vericat, it can be converted back, but the others not. I am hoping that a few people maybe make some suggestions saying, hey, please allow us to convert this back if we choose to, with new outfits coming out, or at least that the outfit remains chronable. This has not been clear on this part yet. I do hope this is the case, though. There are some extra notes. So here we have the costume conversion notes. When converted using the My Maid costume conversion tickets, the costume will be changed. A dedicated icon will be added and displayed, and it can only be equipped by your maid. You can summon your own maid with other characters in your family and take out the equipped costume from your pro bag. Players cannot equip it anymore. The costume is your own maid costume conversion ticket required for transformation. The required amount varies depending on the number of slots occupied. Also, any effects applied to clothing and accessories will disappear, and costumes using Black Spirit's Claw can also be transformed. The effect of adding a modification slot will then also disappear. You cannot register it on the central market, and pearl costumes that have been converted into your own main costume can be extracted. Okay, so we can still extract them in the end. You cannot change your character back into equipable costume. Okay, that we already knew. There is some more notes. If your maid remains in place after being summoned, she will automatically desummon after 30 minutes. Some social actions that remain in place will also be desummoned. My maid will not be summoned while participating in base battles, occupation battles, or War of the Roses. And when summoned outside of a town or metropolis, it will automatically desummon after a short while. And finally, when applying my own maid, only my own maid will be summoned regardless of the maid butler visibility stat in your residence. You can also choose whether to display your maid name or not. In the settings view, show my maid name, pretty much like the fairy name options. Then we have some item changes. The advisive icon, the icon for the advice of Valks has been improved to display the value of the advice. This is definitely a really nice change that they all don't look the same. Along with this change, the P notation at the top of the Valks item has also been removed because it is no longer a pearl item. So here we pretty much have just the numbers being displayed. This is definitely a really nice change. For PC, the icon for the Valk's Advice plus 40 box item has also been changed into a box shape, and the item description for the Traveler's Map items have been improved, so just a small change on that. The Star of Epheria, or effectively the Epheria Galleon tickets, are being changed. So first off, the change schedule is for the maintenance on November 12th in Korea and November 13th in Global. The change pretty much is that before there was no expiration date upon acquisition. Now, after the change, there is only a 7-day validity period. So, all Guild Epheria Star items you own will be deleted, and when the update is applied, the Epheria Galleon or Epheria Star items you own will not change if you own them privately. But any Epheria Star items we acquire afterwards will be limited to the 7-day item. Effectively, the reason for this is a lot of guilds have collected a lot of Epheria Galleons, and they are afraid that effectively there will be a fleet of just galleons showing up in Blue Battlefield. There is a 10 bill guild fund payout per acquisition record based on the record of the time, so overall you will get some payout for it as a, compensation if you have any, but otherwise they will be changed to a 7-day period. Then we have some Pit of Undying. So the difficulty is being adjusted again. So Immortal Shadow's Shiazar has been changed to use his attack and defense buffs at lower health levels, and if you destroy it twice, it has been changed so it no longer uses the buff. In the case of Ascendra's timing for Kun to roll and the timing for Ascendra to fall into an abnormal status were randomly determined. This is the way it was. So there was an element of luck involved. Accordingly, they've improved the timing of the gimmicks to match so that it can be so if you just perform the gimmick, you can successfully destroy them. Then, when the gimmick is destroyed, the time Ascendra remains down is increased by 50%. Also, when she starts her gimmick, we've changed the dialogue to be output as a speech bubble, making it easier to tell that it has started. And Kun, Ascendra's summon, the walking speed at the start of the rolling position has been increased by 100%, and the range at which Kun's attacks hit Ascendra has also been increased by 50. Then for Duran, some classes were obviously struggling doing certain status effects, especially Shy not being able to do one or two status effects easily without having a very specific bomb. They've effectively grouped these status effects now, so the status effects that can be used will be grouped as following. So pretty much we have the Stun and Stiffen, Knockdown Bound, and Knockback Float being grouped in these respective groups. So for example, when a knockback technique is required, you can also succeed the gimmick by doing a float. Then we have the Immortal Shadow Coroxia. Her shield spinning speed has been reduced by 200, so she shouldn't turn as fast towards you again. The number of times Kirill can attack after teleporting in succession has also been limited. The teleportation attack has been changed to only occur twice in a row now. And for Gotharenza, they've just fixed some awkward footsteps in his animation. The self-destruct time for guild raid leaders, Mirror Mock Watcher often, has also been changed from 15 to 30 minutes. Then Quest and Knowledge, the Silent Primal Armor, a growth support quest, has been added to the list of recommended quests. Not a big change, but it is good to pretty much streamline people. Background NPC effects and cutscenes, the description for the weekly boss subjugation, and the Adonis Throne entry button through the following NPC conversations have been improved, so pretty much all the thrones in Adonia. The improvements have also been made so you can skip the cutscenes that plays after defeating the boss during the quest below. This is for the qualifications of the Throne Tenebrealm and Zephyros. Then we have the renewal of the Reforge system. This is slight rework that is coming with the all-in-one presets. So overall, the Reforged Stone management has been added to the Escape character category. They've added the ability to use Reforged Stones as a preset and added it to the all-in-one preset. You can register a Reforged Stone by right-clicking on it in your bag and use it by specifying it for the Reforged Stone preset. Registered Reforged Stones cannot be removed, so it is a one-time input. Reforged Stones must be registered for each weapon separately, so you need to have one for the primary, awakened, and secondary weapon, and each Reforged Stone must be activated for each slot. So pretty much the limits still remain. Clicking on a total sum effect will show all 3 active slots of the currently selected presets. So pretty much here, if you select one, it shows you the main hand, awakening, and offhand, all on one screen for one preset. This is also at the bottom of the all-in-one preset available. Overall, a really nice little change. This could make min-maxing a little bit easier because, for example, there is the down attack Reforged Stone, but it hasn't really seen much use due to the very limited application. Now it could actually be a viable PvP option for a PvP setup to actually switch your presets. Then we have some changes on the enhancement UI. Clicking on another adventurous choice will now display the effective advice scroll to the corresponding slot. They've added the ability to toggle the other adventurous selection button to determine whether or not the other adventurous selection UI is shown. And they fixed the ability to open and close the enhancement window by pressing I, or inventory. If the UI for increasing the reinforcement probability is not open, the selection UI window for other adventures has been modified to be displayed on the right. Then we have something for AOS. They fixed an issue with the UI, except for the match results, and chat would be hidden when taking the victory pose. When performing the victory pose, improvements have been made so that the winning team's adventurers can express themselves more naturally when performing the same action. And the match result screen has been modified to be positioned at the top of the screen. If the text is long and ellipses are used, an explanation will now appear when you hover over the button. And finally, we go into fixes and changes. Wukong, they fixed an issue where some movement was off on a costume. Meiwa Mystic Witch, there was an issue with the Papu and Creo bags being awkward during the X and O social actions. The issue where the graduation cap would remain awkwardly visible when quickly switching to another social action when using graduation has been fixed. The description text that appears when hovering over the face shield settings in the Pearl Shop has been improved. Color has also been added to the text displayed when taking a portrait customization in the portrait customization menu, so F4. They also fixed an issue where killing a hungry drift stalker in a specific location, the drift stalker would sink into the sea, preventing a normal loot collection. Oh, that's a hungry preppy ocean stalker. Guild supply managers in the Land of Morning Light and Hakinsha Temple have been modified to sell guild support items in addition to restoratives. An issue with the production location of the Caphras tree logs did not match the actual base has been fixed. The phenomenon of obtaining 10 Aphroar's traces when extracting... I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be 10 Caphras traces. Oh, never mind. It is Aphroar's traces when extracting Caphras trees. With the green thumb minigame has been corrected to only 1. So apparently this bug has not been fixed. Then a phenomenon of fishing resources in Papua Crimea region appearing to be depleted has been fixed. This has been up for quite a while. They also fixed an issue where you could climb onto torches on the outer walls of the structure within Archer Sphere Arena. When moving a character to a base through the world map family management, the arrival location has been changed to a location a certain distance away from the node manager. An issue where the bag, pearl bag, enhancement bag, family bag tabs of the bag UI were not aligned properly has been fixed. When strengthening the window for increased, enhancement has been modified to close. The intensity of the effect when reinforcement fails has been modified to be weaker. The brightness of the effect when has been modified. They fixed the NPC shop UI to now also open the reinforcement bag tab. The issue where intimacy or amity was displayed as an abbreviation when talking to NPCs has been fixed. The issue where boarding a crew member, the crew member list was arranged at the bottom of the UI, and another crew member in the slot location where the previous crew member was boarded was not selected has been fixed. So a bit of a sailor fix. The ability descriptions displayed in the pet window have been updated to the latest standards. They fixed a bug where scrolls would not reset when selecting reinforcement materials to drop prevention drop prevention items. The awkward position of NPC Takros in the free arena when logging in as a trial character has been fixed. They also fixed an issue where characters would become unable to move near certain edges of the AOS swamp battlefield. They fixed some issues where summons such as Fox Spirits or of the Victory Megu would be displayed even if they belong to the losing team after starting the victory pose. They fixed the area entry notification text at the bottom of the screen not being displayed in the AOS victory pose. They also fixed an issue where the Solar Sphere match result window would appear in an unintended location on some resolutions. They fixed some issues where social action slot would become locked when pressing the victory pose setting while the adventurer was in an action. The issue where the Lord mark would overlap with the guild name depending on the number of characters in the guild name has been fixed. They also fixed an issue where the homework together quest that could not be completed was displayed in the quest list. Then there was an issue for the probability of obtaining rare fish species was not being displayed in the application effect status of my information, even though it was present in the buff obtained through item use. Then there was an issue with the expiration date shown in the repurchase window was based on the maximum usable items of the item rather than the expiration date of each item. An issue where large ships, caravel, paddocks, and galleys would not follow the automatic movement path when auto-moving during a fast cruise has been fixed. Hopefully this improves the auto-pathing. The issue where status effect other than those listed in the hunting ground information were applied in Valley of Olin and Shere Khan has been fixed. They also fixed a typo in Odalita's dialogue where she gains knowledge of the sixth precept of truth. Knowledge, they fixed an issue where you could not obtain knowledge in Fallen Citadel if you first obtained bricks and bricks. Then there was an issue where the dialogue exclusive to the Megu class was displayed to the general class in the video clip played during the Bihun quest. How to stop the plague has been fixed. I actually need to do that with Megu then. The issue where Ethan's voice was not playing during certain dialogues during the Serendia current situation has been fixed. Then an issue with the text for Goblin Chest 1 in an Adventurer's Strange Landscape Volume 5 on the Adventurer Journal bookshelf was different from that on other bookshelves has been corrected. Orbita Castle, an issue with the effect of the Night Gravekeeper appearing during the reward gimmick did not disappear quickly has been fixed. And finally, an issue where monsters appearing in Olin Valley could intermittently chase you for long distances has been fixed. With that, we go into the TLDR. I mean, obviously, fixes and changes. It's always a bunch of stuff. The enhancement UI, Solar UI, that's great. To be honest, the biggest thing I'm interested in, or that I find really interesting, is the Reforge stones. This might make some of those lower Reforge stones a bit more unique. On top of that, witch tags will now be able to use the crit chance buff, and then have the other main remain on their own crit damage, possibly. This is definitely a net benefit across the board. It still requires you to effectively register every single stone for each weapon separately, but at the same time, from the look of it, we can effectively register every single stone. I don't see a certain max number anywhere listed here, so it definitely looks like we can just put one of each stone into the slot for each weapon and have full customization options. So definitely really nice, especially without a pearl shop included. It does make the Pit of Undying really great, but I do feel the Reforged Stone thing does take the sting a little bit out of the Maid outfit box stuff, where you need to pretty much pay to turn it into a Pearl Shop item that can be then only used by the Maid. That is a bit downsided, but at the same time, it does take the sting out a little bit. Otherwise, I feel like the My Attendant's going to be a fun little thing. Obviously, they had to take a shy with a Zerker Attendant. It just seems like the most fitting thing. Pretty much Shies and Zerkers are like best friends most of the time, it seems. Considering how much the Zerker gains benefits from the Shy and vice versa. It always is a bit of fun. I do think there will be a bit of fun with people having their maids running behind them. I also don't think it's going to be a massive thing, but it's still going to be nice to see. And with that, we have the patch notes done, and I wish you the best of luck in BDO, and with all your enhancements, taps, and drops.